Mr Gloster, my ears really pricked up there when you said big things are happening when it comes to children's respite next year. We know, and for people watching back home, that in CHO7, where I live, and to people also who I represent, that there is no respite for children available. There are no after-school respite facilities for children. There is no overnight respite for children under 8, and there is non-existent home support for children in CHO7 at this current point in time. Can you please, explain that to me? Like, how have you come to this point?
With the specific details of CHO7, Kate, do you want to?
So that is what I'm told formally by the HSE.
Okay. So in terms of increasing capacity in respite...
I'm asking why there is absolutely no respite available to children and families in CHO7 at this current point in time in CHO7, and I'm told that formally by the HSE.
So, Deputy, there's no defending that. That's not acceptable, and I will take that away and look at that in the context of what capacity could be generated for the former CHO7 area. In terms of home support, I'm aware that there are ongoing recruitment and retention challenges for home support specifically, and there are measures being taken to try and increase
for those at home.
Provision.
CHO7 encompasses large parts of South Dublin, the South City of Dublin, and stretches all the way up to Kildare. So it's a huge amount of our population in Ireland, when we're seeing so much money given to respite that are not getting any respite at this point in time. It is scandalous.
And I genuinely, Deputy, I'm not going to defend it, and I'm not going to dispute what you're saying. What I can say to you is the additionality that has been secured for next year. I'm certainly favouring the positive discrimination in favour of the areas that have the least. I have to work that out with Minister Foley and Minister Nocton, but I'm not going to defend what you've described, which is just not right.
Okay, and then I'm going to move on to CAMHS, the CAMHS service, Mr Gloster. And can you explain to the committee? Again, I'm speaking here from a personal experience and representing parents and families in CHO7, and particularly in Dublin South Central. And can you explain to the committee and to the public why children with severe self-harming behaviours, for whom multiple referrals have been made by GPs, paediatricians, are constantly refused by CAMHS? In a recent parliamentary question I tabled, over 60% of referrals made to CAMHS are refused. Can you explain to me why this is happening? What is the criteria? How come clinicians do not know the criteria for CAMHS referrals? And why are so many CAMHS referrals being refused? Tell the public, please, Mr Gloster.
I'm not aware that there's any disproportionate change in CHO7 to how CAMHS clinicians conduct their work or their business. I'll certainly talk to the National Clinical Director for CAMHS for that. I will come back to you with a detailed reply. When a referral is made by a general practitioner or indeed anybody else to a CAMHS service or indeed to any other service, I am bound to rely on what the receiving clinician says about that referral. And if they say that referral does not meet the criteria of their service, I'm not in a position to second guess that. What I have done since October of this year and started nationwide is because of those complexities of referral pathways that parents and teachers and GPs are experiencing, I have now created the single pathway of one front door for referrals to all specialist community healthcare services for children. And once that referral is made, the services can't refuse it. And it's the services behind that door, primary care, CAMHS and disability, have to decide which is best placed to respond to the child. And that's the best.
With all due respect to your policy, that's not being adhered to by your clinicians.
It's only just started. Yeah, it's only just started.
So I'm actually flabbergasted that the HSE aren't tracking how many CAMHS referrals are refused in each CHO area. And I'd ask you, Mr Gloster, to provide the committee with those referrals broken down by CHO area, broken down by acceptance, broken down by refusal rate, and also broken down by waiting times. It's just not acceptable for families and for children in this day and age that the services aren't available to them. And then I have 3 more minutes left, and I'd just like to speak about something just about equine therapy. Obviously, it is my colleague Anne Rabbit, who was a fantastic advocate for disabilities, asked me to ask about a multi-annual funding and capital funding for Towermore Equine Centre. We know that equine therapy has huge measurable outcomes for children with disabilities, and I'm asking that the HSE evaluate how they can roll out further programmes, like expanding Cherry Orchard in my own area is one. There's huge demand, huge waiting lists, and when something works, why don't you look at expanding it? But the Respite and CAMHS figures are startling. They're unforgivable.
Yeah, but can I say, to be fair to you, and again, I'm not disputing or defending anything you're saying. I think what you're saying to me about CAMHS is actually not the absence of a service, but actually the decision making within the service. And I'm very happy to look at that.
But I always ask the question, why are you closing the door down? And from a parent and from a representative, it seems like there's a row going on between CAMHS and the CD&T.
Exactly.
So CAMHS are saying, not on my list. We don't want publishing our figures with big long waiting lists, and the CD&T, unfortunately, everything seems to go back on the CD&T, and they have huge waiting lists, where if you look at the CAMHS waiting list, it actually looks quite moderate, where in fact they are whitewashing their waiting list figures to make them look moderate, when in fact they're just brushing everything back on the CD&T. And I just think you need to review. There needs to be a root and branch review of CAMHS. It's not working at the moment.
And all that I can say to you in relation to that is that's why I have created the single point of access. That's why I've said no child's referral can be refused. And that's why I've said it is up to those services and the people who lead them to work out which is the best response that can be given to a child. I absolutely agree with you. There has been a fundamental disintegration. The more we specialise in the Irish Health Service, the more disintegration we create, and that's an unintended consequence. But what I categorically say to you today, and I've said it in public many times, I'm not, despite the good work done, I'm not proud of our record in children's services, be it children's services for disability or indeed mental health. I'm not proud of it, and I will do what I can to improve it.
Thank you, Mr. Gloster.